Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in once again to another one of my videos. Before I go on today, I just wanted to thank you all so much because the channel has just reached 1,000 subscribers and I'm just blown away. I did not expect this. It's a huge milestone, so thank you so much to everyone who subscribed and everyone who watches these videos. This is something I do for fun and I am just so happy that this many of you find my videos useful to you or entertaining to watch. So thank you all one more time. This really means so much to me. So now to the subject of this video. I have recently picked up the Kodak Gold once again. It is actually one of the first film stocks I've ever shot when I started film photography. I had shot it once or twice and not that there was anything wrong with it at all. I wasn't underwhelmed or anything, but I just never went back to it again. I think it didn't capture my attention as much at the time. And you know me, I just love trying out all these different film stocks that are available to us. So I had then gone on to test different film stocks and I kind of forgot all about Kodak Gold. It is a 200 ISO color negative film stock and I usually tend to go for higher ISOs just because I prefer to have a faster shutter speed, and higher ISOs are obviously going to be more versatile in that sense. So that's another reason why the Kodak Gold was not necessarily my first choice when I was picking out my film. Throughout this video, I'm of course going to be showing you the different photos I shot on Kodak Gold through time, and most of these were shot on my Minolta X700 because I'm a creature of habit. But with its versatility, the Kodak Gold is also a really good film stock for your regular point and shoots, but it also comes in medium format, so I'm going to talk about that just a little later as well. One of the very big advantages of Kodak Gold is that it is quite reasonably priced. It is by no means inexpensive, but it does tend to be cheaper than most color negative film stocks, and most importantly, it is very widely available. So if you go pretty much to any store that sells analog film, I can guarantee you that 99% of the time they will have the Kodak Gold. So this is definitely an advantage to not be overlooked, because if you are happy with the film stock, if you find it reliable, if you find it versatile, then it's always nice to not have to hunt it down across different websites, across different stores. So yeah, Kodak Gold, one of the most widely available film stocks out there. Kodak Gold 200 is classed as a consumer grade film, whatever that means to you, but this doesn't mean that it's not widely used by professionals for professional photo shoots. In fact, I have seen it used very often, and we already know that the professional versus the consumer label should not necessarily sway you from using a film stock for any condition, depending on what kind of results you need. What consumer films tend to have in common as opposed to professional film stocks is that they tend to be a bit more forgiving, so perhaps a better choice for beginners. They tend to be more versatile, they can adapt a bit better to different lightings, while professional film stocks will require you to have, perfect knowledge of your lighting to get the best possible results. Being a consumer grade film also makes it much lower maintenance, so this is as far as storage goes. It doesn't deteriorate as easily with temperatures or over time, so that's another, I guess, upside of these consumer films. It is also a film that will handle being overexposed and underexposed much better. So all in all, I guess it makes it a bit more versatile than some professional level films. The Kodak Gold 200 has this kind of sentimental value for me, and I think it's the case for many of you as well. For me, it's really reminiscent of the photos in my parents' photo albums, and this is once again because the Kodak Gold is very available, widely available across different countries, and it has been the case for many years. In fact, the Kodak Gold was first introduced in 1988, so that's a while back. However, it was not the same Kodak Gold that we know today. At the time, it was available from 25 ISO all the way up to 1000 ISO. The formula was a bit different, the look was slightly different as well. And today, and in fact since 2007, we are on the 7th generation of Kodak Gold. Today, it's only available in 200 ISO. The first time I picked Kodak Gold up again after my first attempts was last summer, and I was so happy and pleasantly surprised by the results that I ended up picking up a bunch of other rolls, and I kind of progressively shot those through summer. And I think the main thing that kind of surprised me when I refreshed my memory on the Kodak Gold were its colors. The Kodak Gold colors are pretty natural, they are quite neutral, not as neutral as other film stocks, but they are pretty close to real life. While being quite neutral, I still find them to be very vibrant and on the, punchier side, on the more vivid side. And I really did enjoy that in my rolls. The colors are more vibrant than what you usually get from your Kodak Portra or from the Ultramax, for example. And the colors that really stand out with this film stock are notably red, orange, and especially I find green. I think you will see that throughout most of the photos in this video. Although not too prevalent with the Kodak Gold, the color balance is on the warmer side. It's not too overwhelming, but yes, definitely warmer. At the time when I started film photography, the most common film stocks that you could find anywhere were the Kodak Gold and the Fuji Superia Extra, which has unfortunately, to my great disappointment, been discontinued. But these two film stocks were cheap and available, and they were kind of polar opposites because the Fuji Superia had a much cooler balance. In the photos that I've shot on Kodak Gold and also the photos that I've seen floating around online, I felt that its color scheme kind of provides this light golden glow. I know I'm kind of wording this in an abstract way, maybe you'll correct me in the comments, but this is for sure another aspect of this film that I came to really enjoy. For me, this film stock is a summer film. This doesn't mean you can't shoot it in the winter, in the fall, but in my personal preference, not only does this kind of warmer and glowy aesthetic really go well with summer photos, but bright sunshine really makes the colors stand out. In lower lighting, this vibrancy, this punchiness is somewhat diminished. I already mentioned the ISO of 200. I usually do street photography. For me, in lower lighting, this is not enough, because I need the faster shutter speed. If I have a lower shutter speed, I end up with a lot of motion blur, and that is in fact something that's been repeating quite a lot throughout my Kodak Gold rolls. So from now on, I'm more likely to stick to it in brightly lit, sunlit scenarios. Skin tones also tend to turn out really good on this film stock. This is because it is more neutral, and you will not tend to find many intrusive color shifts. So I think this really makes it a great film for portraits. When it comes to the grain of this film, it is definitely present, but I don't personally find it very bothersome. Of course, some of you may prefer to not have grain in your photos, some may prefer this very sharp look, in which case the grain could probably bother you a bit. The Kodak Gold is grainier than the Portra 160, that is pretty much a given, but it is also grainier than the Kodak Portra 400. That's a film stock with a much higher ISO, yet it has a much finer grain. The Kodak Gold also tends to be grainier than many other films in the 200 ISO category, but once again, there are different types of grain, and in this particular scenario, I did not find the grain to be an issue. I in fact found it to be very aesthetically pleasing, but you can be the judge of that. Like I said though, the Kodak Gold 200 is also available in medium format, and shooting it in 120, so in medium format, it means it's a bigger format, and this kind of neutralizes or kind of counters the grain. So I find it to be even less of an issue in 120. I only shot a couple of medium format rolls so far, and that was on my Yashica Matte 124. But one of these rolls was the Kodak Gold, and I was super happy with the result. I'm still a medium format beginner. I'm trying to understand how to use it well, and I shot the Portra 400, and that one was way less forgiving. And the best results in medium format I got so far was really the Kodak Gold. The Kodak Gold has a great exposure latitude. Kodak says you can underexpose it by 2 stops or overexpose it by 3 stops. And like I said, it's overall very versatile. So although it's not going to be my go-to film stock for any situation, any scenario, I still think I'm going to stock up on it a lot next summer because the colors were gorgeous and I was really happy with the results. I even shot a couple food photos for a little cafe, and I found that the film really made the food look great. So it's going to be reliable for food photography or product photography in general, portraits, street photography if the light conditions are good, landscape photography due to its amazing colors, and even just your holiday photos because you're likely to end up with good results with the film being very forgiving. So I'm really glad that I picked up the Kodak Gold once again, and this is also going to be a lesson to me to not hold back on revisiting film stocks that I've used in the past that haven't necessarily impressed me on the first try, because photos are so subjective, and something that wasn't your cup of tea 2 years ago, 3 years ago, could actually become a new staple for you today. So I think I've said enough for today, and I would like to thank you all once again from the bottom of my heart for all the support that you've been giving to this channel. Thank you one more time for the 1000 subscribers. It seems mad to me, and I'm going to keep trying to make videos that you all enjoy. I'll see you all in the next one coming very soon. I hope you have a great day, take some beautiful photos, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.